On this episode, we dial down the cynicism and talk about a few things that were ridiculed at the beginning but ended up doing quite well.
So if you've ever thought a new program or initiative in Thailand was bound to fail but were proven horribly wrong, you'll love this episode of the Bangkok Podcast.
Sawadee krap, this is the Bangkok Podcast. My name is Greg Jorgensen, a Canadian who somehow ended up in Thailand in 2001 on a wing and a prayer, and since I'm an atheist and can't fly, I have been unable to leave.
True that.
Yeah.
And I'm Ed Knuth, an American who came to Thailand on a one-year teaching contract almost 25 years ago, fell in love with my goal of making the name for a person who lives in Bangkok a Bangkoker, so I never left.
As a long-term Bangkokian, you should know better.
No, Bangkoker, Greg. Once I achieve this, then maybe that's when I can leave.
You know, this fits in with the theme of the show. I think that's going to fail, but maybe it'll be a success.
All right, we want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show. Patrons get every episode a day early, behind-the-scenes photos of our interviews, a heads up to send questions to upcoming guests, and access to our Discord server to chat with me, Greg, and other listeners around the world. But best of all, patrons also get an unscripted, uncensored bonus episode every week where we riff on current events and Bangkok topics. On this week's bonus show, we chatted about Greg's upcoming trip to Canada with his son and his continuing efforts to instill him with the spirit of the great moose and maple syrup, our experience doing a 12K walk and checking out the hipster paradise of Songwat Road, which is actually quite cool, and further refinements to my nascent Thai learning app, which I'm continuing to work on. I expect to be fluent in, I don't know, it might be, I'd love to say 3 months, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. To learn how to become a patron and get all this good stuff, plus full access to over 800 bonus and regular back episodes, click the support button at the top of our website.
That's right. And don't forget, if you listen to us on Spotify, you can hear all the bonus shows there as well. If you're a patron, simply link your Patreon account to your Spotify account. Add our new feed titled Bangkok Podcast Badass Patrons Only to hear the regular and bonus shows in the same place. And before we get going, Ed, we got to have a bit of a visit to the corrections department. I guess it's corrections, but I can't really think of another category for it. But you remember last week we did a show about cringe times.
Cringe. Unfortunately, I can remember the cringe.
I remember a lot about it, and I couldn't figure out who had sent the idea, but I figured out who it was. Actually, it was our friend Scott.
Oh, excellent! Now, yeah. Scott the pedant or Scott the buddy?
No,
the drinking and biking buddy.
No, not Scott the pedant. Unfortunately, he always comes in with stuff after the show to correct us on the mistakes we've made during the episode, which we appreciate. But no, this is our buddy Scott Coates, who is the fill-in co-host when Ed is not available.
That's sometimes.
Right. Yeah. So thanks for that, Scott. That was a fun one. All right. Then on this episode, we're going to take a little bit of inspiration from an article that appeared in the South China Morning Post this past week. The title was Thailand's DTV Digital Nomad Visa Proves a Runaway Success 1 year on. Now, this got us thinking about how the default reaction by many expats to any big government program in Thailand is, this is going to fail. Now, obviously, not everyone is so cynical, and I have certainly been guilty of it myself many times. But the thing is, some of the big projects we think will fail end up being quite successful, just like the DTV visa. So we thought we'd sprinkle some good news fairy dust on this episode and talk about a few things that have got a lot of ridicule when they began, but are still chugging along quite nicely and doing pretty well. So, Ed, I think this is one of these episodes we think we try to do as much as we can, the good news episodes, the stuff that makes us smile and be happy about living in Thailand.
Yeah, no, I actually love this topic, and I like the way that you framed it, because as expats, there's always that danger pit of, oh my God, this is going to suck. Like it's there's something we've talked about before, but certain types of expats, not us, they get sucked into a vortex of negativity. And as you said, the default reaction to anything the Thai government proposes is, this is going to suck.
Yeah.
And so finding exceptions to that, things that worked out better than we expected, it's worth doing because it's true. The Thai government does not always fail.
I agree. And in my first few years here, I was actually quite cynical about a lot of stuff. I used to get wrapped up in Thai politics really well. And I used to think, why can't they just do it like this so it makes sense?
That's
it's
right.
So embarrassing, blah, blah, blah.
You've got all the answers.
That's right. I had them all. I was sitting at the end of the bar and I had it all in a little book. I don't know why no one listened to me. But the first time it became very clear to me that I had maybe better readjust my thinking was one day I was sitting in a movie and I was looking around and I was like, man, Thailand does movie theaters way better than Canada has ever done movie theaters.
Man, it's interesting you brought this up, but I had a very similar thing. I was just shocked how chill they were about being able to buy a beer, and that would just be like a shocking thing in the U.S. that a movie theater in a mall would let you bring a beer in it.
Yeah.
It was like there would be some assumption that society would fall apart if we did that.
Well, this was a long time ago.
But then in Bangkok, it's just, we do this and it's totally fine. Like it doesn't create any problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, we don't want to get diverted by movie theaters, but I would agree with your sentiment.
It was a long time ago. And I think movie theaters in the West have come a long way since then. But things like booking your seat, that wasn't a thing when I was...
That's right.
Before I came to Thailand, we had to fight over the seats and throw your jacket over like 6 seats to reserve them for your friends. It was a hell show.
That's how we grew up. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's a lot of really, really great stuff here. And I think as expats, we're sort of worldly and we tend to be a little bit cynical and jaded after so long and seeing so many people cycle in and out of Thailand. So it's easy to sort of play armchair quarterback and criticize these things. So we thought we would just go over a few that maybe got a bit of a ribbing when they were first announced, but are doing pretty well by all accounts. And,
my examples are kind of eclectic. They're very different from each other, but these are things that I thought, okay, this is going to be a nightmare. This is not going to work out.
Right.
Whatever, for various different reasons. And then surprisingly, they either worked or at least didn't lead to disaster as I predicted.
Do you want to go first then? You want to get your first one?
Sure. My first example, the first thing that popped in my head when you proposed this topic had to do with the COVID vaccine rollout. And my issue has nothing to do with any of the debate about the vaccine. It was just that, I work for the Thai government through a Thai university, and the initial vaccines were all allegedly set up like for university employees. So it's all government run. We're not even at a private hospital with some government contract. And I remember thinking, oh my God, it's going to take 8 hours. I was just dreading it. And, I had a bunch of work to do and I'm just like, this is going to be, it's like, we talk a lot about Chang Watan and how you can get sucked into that black hole for 6-7 hours. Yeah. But that happens every day. Like those people have practice and so they've been doing it every day and it still takes 8 hours.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So I'm like, this is a pandemic. This is like an international thing. It's like the Thai government's never going to be prepared for this. This is going to suck.
You bring your tent with you to camp out on the sidewalk.
That's right. And then I showed up with a couple of my colleagues. I kind of walked in while some of my other colleagues were walking in, and we were saying the same thing. We're like, Jesus, whatever. We rolled in at like 9. And I remember being like, are we going to be out of here? Like, are we going to be out of here by like 5? And it was incredibly well run. Like it was almost like Thailand was playing a joke on us. It was basically perfect. I was honestly in shock. We were in, it was not a gym, but it was like a hall of a government building, which was not far from my university. And they had like little checkpoints. It's like, go to station 1, go to station 2, go to station 3. And it was well staffed. They had at least okay English. There wasn't insane forms to fill out.
Nice.
And so we rolled in at like 9 a.m. I think at like 9:20, I was like, oh wait, what? Like I honestly thought it was going to take all day.
And you were done by 9:20?
Yeah.
Wow.
It worked perfectly. Honestly, it was great.
Awesome.
It was, and I had a couple of vaccines when I was in the States, and it was better than what I did in the States. In the States, it wasn't that big a deal, but I had to go to this was a government thing, but they had contracted with like CVS Pharmacy, and you had to sign up on the website first, and then you got a phone call confirmation, and I had the temporary cell phone, because I was
right.
So it was perfectly run in Thailand. So kudos. This is the whole point of the show. Kudos to the Thai government, whoever is in charge of their pandemic response or the Thailand, whatever, health agency.
Right.
They crushed it.
Well done. Well done. Bravo to you, sir.
Well done.
Or madam. That's a good one. The first one I'm going to go for here is something I've talked about on the show before, and that is the Forest Park in the middle of the city.
Yep.
And for those that don't know, it's it's sort of close to Lumpini Park, which is the old granddaddy of Bangkok's park systems. But the Forest Park is a gigantic marshland, like animal bird breeding area, walking area, bike riding, running, jogging area, event area.
Formerly,
warehouses.
Formerly tobacco monopoly, is that correct?
Formerly the Thai tobacco monopoly. And it's great. It's beautiful. Now, I'm not going to comment on how much of a pain in the ass it is to get there sometimes. Like my son and I want to go ride our bikes there sometimes.
Right.
And we've got to like load our bikes onto the car, sit in traffic for 40 minutes to get to the park to ride our bike.
Right.
Different issue. But the very fact that it exists is so incredible to me because it's right in the middle of the city. It's hard to imagine more valuable land in Bangkok. And when they announced it, I was just like, yeah, that'll happen. Good luck. Like, I was
you're right. It is the kind of thing that you would think that like a condo development is going to take over. There's going to be a mall, So someone says, "Oh, we're going to make a huge park right here," and you're like, "Oh yeah, sure."
Yeah, it's very close to Sukhumvit. I was like, "There's no way that's going to happen in a million years." At worst, they could sell that land and make billions of
billion, baht. Yeah, billions, yeah.
Yeah, but I was 100% wrong, and they did it.
Yeah. And actually, the park is pretty good. I mean, it's that's all actually a whole. Maybe we should do a show on parks because I've been spending more time in Lumpini, and so this new park, in general, it's pretty good. To me, they let it kind of stay a little jungly, so it's not really well landscaped, but that's part of the design.
That's what they tell you anyway, but it works.
No, but it's a little bit jungly, but in short, it's great. It's like I have always loved Lumpini, and I still probably prefer Lumpini to the new one, but it's still very cool. It's great.
Yeah, I think so too. I like Lumpini because it's got more older, bigger trees and more shade.
Right.
But this one, just for the sheer fact that they took that giant plot of land that could have been so valuable and filled it with trees and birds and animals.
That's right. It's worth billions.
Yeah,
that land.
Totally.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was
well done there, Forest Park people, and continue the trend.
Whoever that was that the BMA who did that? Like the Bangkok City crushed it.
Yeah, well done, sirs and madams. What's
your
next
my other thing? I think it starts around 2010, 2012. I remember when e-banking kind of started, where you could get an app on your phone for your bank. So you and I grew up in the years of the savings book, and when I was in Thailand for I think the first 10 years, I think all my banking was done in person.
Yeah.
It was actually worse than the West because I remember being a kid in the States and having a savings book.
Sure. Yeah.
As a kid, but then I don't remember that really when I was in high school. Like we got rid of that. I don't know. That's a good trivia question. Like I feel like, but by the 80s in the States, maybe my parents had a savings book for me. I don't know. I just feel like the savings book is super retro. And then I come to Thailand and they're addicted to savings books. And this stuck in my head as, oh, they're behind.
Okay.
So in my head, I've always thought, okay, this is Thailand. So they're 40 years behind. Like we got rid of the shit in the 80s.
Right. It's the same people that ask you to fax something to them.
Right? Yeah, right. That was my mindset.
Yeah.
And then whenever it was, I don't know, 2008, 2010, something like that, it was like, oh, SCB's got an app. And I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, here we go. Like, this is
going to suck.
This is never going to work. Like Thailand's going to get e-banking. My buddies in the States, they don't have e-banking. And then it just works. Basically, it works. I mean, over the years, obviously occasionally it doesn't work. But I mean, if you add up like the e-banking, and then much later we got QR codes, like the prompt pay system,
right?
Like basically Thailand is the best place in the world to pay for anything. Like there's QR codes, prompt pay, and you can just link your phone number to prompt pay. So if you step foot in Thailand and just sign up and set this up, you can pay for anything at any time, like with no money. I feel like this is the e-money capital of the world. It just works almost flawlessly. Like taxi drivers, like motorbike guys. Like motorbike guys will be like, "Can I QR?" They're like, "Sure." Boom.
Well, most motorbike guys, a lot of them now, they have that little pocket on the back of their vest. And
That's
they
right.
stick the QR code there. You just scan their back.
No, this is the electronic money. It's way easier here to pay people than in the States.
Yeah.
Way easier.
Well, I mostly agree with you. I 95% agree with you, but I've always said that I really hate Thai banks. They're
No, I agreed. In the banks, they're horrible, but in general, I've had good experience with the apps, with the electronic interaction.
right. But that's why it was so surprising, because it just I hate going into banks. I hate dealing with a stupid book bank question and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then the apps, it's almost like a totally different business. It's like
no, that's what I'm saying. It's like they went in our time in Thailand, they went from being behind to ahead.
Right.
This is why it's perfect for the show, because I just remember thinking, yeah, right. Like you're going to do something that the U.S. is not even doing.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Hello.
But so I can say I hate Thai banks, but I love online banking in Thailand because
that's it.
I think the apps work just really, really well. Almost every single time.
I've got picky things, but what I'm saying is, in general, the whole electronic money experience, everything, like whether it's QR codes, banking apps, whatever it is, it works way better than I thought.
Right. So now I just got to get the rest of the house in order.
That's right. Agreed.
Yeah. Well, the next one I want to come up with is something that I was curious about. So I did some research online and I put this into ChatGPT. So take all this with a grain of salt, but I think it's generally right. But I also wanted to say the Thai Elite card.
It's funny because the Thai Elite card, I don't know that much about it, but I remember when it very first came out and everyone was very optimistic about it. And then it like fell apart. And I feel like it had 2 or 3 iterations that were kind of a laughingstock. Am I wrong?
I think you're right. And I remember too, when it was announced, I thought it was the stupidest thing I'd ever heard. I'm like,
it was way too expensive. I remember again, it has gone through several iterations, but whatever, it was just something like, oh, pay $50,000 and get these like shitty benefits.
Yeah. Get 5% discount on a golf course. I'm like,
yeah,
hey, if they can fly to Thailand on a private jet and spend $50,000 on a membership, they're not saving $27 on a round of golf.
The initial benefits were ridiculous. It was stuff like a private car from the airport.
Right.
And everyone who lives here knows, okay, that costs $500 baht.
But check this out. I mean? This is what ChatGPT gave me as a summary. So again, take this with a bit of a grain of salt, but it all sounds right to me. So it was launched in 2003 under the Thaksin administration. The initial reaction, it was widely ridiculed in the press and public discourse, criticized as a vanity project aimed at selling citizenship light to wealthy foreigners. It had concerns over unclear visa rules, lack of real benefits, and very few takers at the start. It was even called a national embarrassment, in quotes, by some opposition voices.
Oh, wait, let me interject one thing that I just remembered.
Sure.
Okay, part of the reason that was ridiculed is that Thaksin, who was prime minister at the time, made some ridiculous statements. And I'm just going to go out there. I know this sounds crazy, but I'm going to stick with my memory. He said, we're going to sell 1 million of these.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, he made some insane claim. And again, I forgot how much it was at the time, $25,000, 40, whatever, 10, it might have been 10,000. I have no idea.
Right.
But I remember just doing the math going, dude, there's not 1 million people who want to spend that much money. And there weren't. And I remember in the first year, like a couple hundred people signed up, and he's trying to claim it's going to be 1 million.
Right.
So I think, so maybe part of the problem it was oversold.
Yeah. Well, then it says why it actually turned out to be a success. It said it didn't boom, but it didn't vanish either. The program survived multiple government changes, including coups, and gradually found a niche market. Now it has over 30,000 members.
Not bad.
It's become an economic soft power tool, attracting wealthy individuals without granting them full residency or political rights. And it aligned with Thailand's shift towards high-value tourism. Bureaucratic headaches in the Thai visa system created an opening for a fast lane, quote unquote. A growing global class of location-independent professionals wanted ease, comfort, and status. And perhaps most importantly, it kept a low profile and delivered just enough value quietly, which I think is interesting.
Well, here's what I'll say to this. I think the key word in all that was the word niche. As long as you recognize that, hey, this is a niche thing, and then you capitalize on that niche, I'm all for it. I think it was oversold early. And the fact that he predicted, when this program started, it was way overhyped. I mean, listeners, this was a big deal that the government announced, like a world-changing thing. We're going to allow this Thai elite visa. And it was all over the news. It was, I don't know, I guess it was soft power. And it flopped. And so the fact that he predicted 1 million and now it's only 30,000, it just shows how ridiculously oversold it was, or, in terms of just how over promoted it was.
Right.
But as a niche product, it's great.
Yeah.
So I think there are 30,000 people who are going to pay this amount of money to this. And I agree with it as a soft power tool. And, the fact that it's not like they're not selling citizenship. Like it's not. It really is. You're just kind of like a super tourist.
Yeah. Right.
Like
super tourist. That's a good term. I love.
Yeah, and that's good. That's fine. I do think it's a
right.
I support the idea of the program. I just don't. It's just kind of funny how popular they thought it was going to be.
Well, over the years, I've sort of met more and more people, and more often in recent years, who have the elite card. And a couple of times I made a joke. I'm like, oh, like the idiots that have the elite card. And then someone says, I've got it. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry. So I've had to sort of pull
everyone
that back.
else but you. Everyone else but you. Yeah.
I'm the only serf here.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it survived, I would consider that a success.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah.
All right. My third thing, it's a little bit different. It's not so much a business or a government project per se, but I wanted to bring this up since my field that I teach in is political science. And I do tell this to my students. I try to be somewhat humble with my students, and I talk about how, even though I do think politics is a science, it doesn't mean it's physics. And even if you spend years studying an area or era, it can be very hard to make predictions. So in politics, the classic example we always roll out is the collapse of the Soviet Union, which was predicted by almost no one among these like hardcore like Sovietologists and Kremlinologists. Like these are PhDs who are like, very famously they were doing like body language analysis of like people like high up in the Soviet government, and like, oh, you see the way he's sitting, that means that this, there was literally it's a field, and then Soviet Union collapsed, and these experts are like, oh shit, oh,
I don't know anything.
Damn, I didn't see that. So in that vein, I want to bring up, without going into all the details, the return of the Thaksin Shinawatra clan, the Shinawatra clan, because when so listeners, you probably know some background. So Thaksin Shinawatra is the kind of godfather of the family. He was overthrown in a coup. Then his sister was overthrown in a coup, and then just common sense and all the information and knowledge and wisdom you could imagine, like from Plato up till today, it would be like they're done, like they're never going to make a comeback. Like every person, like there's no one who were like, yeah, they got a future.
Really? No one thought that?
Yeah, it just wasn't a thing. And when there was talk of his daughter running for prime minister, and then talk that he might try to come back, me and everyone else was like, oh my God, like this is a horrible idea. Like this
really?
will this will never work. No, that was okay. Whatever the year would have been, 2016, when this kind of kicked off. The return of Thaksin, physically himself, but then also his daughter running. Like this was, and okay, I don't even have to speak about. Doesn't really matter what everyone else thought. Just myself, I remember just telling people like, trust me, I've been studying politics for 35 years. Like this,
Trust me.
this will never work. Like it's going to cause chaos, or it's going to be more violence in the streets. I remember just thinking, oh, this is a disastrous thing. And now I want to be clear. It is true right now that his daughter has been suspended as prime minister. So maybe I can try to salvage a victory from, from my prediction.
Salvage a victory.
But the bottom line is the party made a comeback. Thai Rak Thai, Pheu Thai, they made a comeback. They won the prime ministership, parliamentary wise, like not without doing anything illegally. They got the prime ministership back. His daughter became prime minister, and he's free. So now
you were wrong.
I was totally wrong, and I remember being really cocky about it at the time. I remember telling people, "Look, this is my field. You're just a political hobbyist. Like I'm a pro. This is never going to work." And then it worked, and then it worked, and then it worked.
It just does to show you, man. Like Thailand is never ceases to surprise, never fails to amaze.
It's really the field of politics, but that's a whole other topic. But it's a good lesson in humility, even in your field.
I like it. Well, that was interesting. You had 3. I don't have any more. I only had 2. You had 3, but
no worries.
But I think that's good. And I think earlier you and I were talking, we're going to have to do the opposite to this show. Things in Thailand that we thought were going to be sure things, home runs, but ended up crashing and burning really badly.
Well, that's another good one because, again, since we're usually negative, it's a little bit hard to find things that we're like, this is going to crush, and then it fails. But we'll see what we can do. We'll see if we can come up with that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of things in mind, but we might have to do a bit more research on that one. But it's a fun idea. And
sure,
I just think that sometimes we need to dial down the cynicism and just sort of sit back and wait and see how things pan out.
For sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we ask our listeners to send in a voicemail using the little microphone button on our website if they have something to say. And this week we heard from our pal Vinny. Vinny, take it away.
Hey guys, Greg, Ed, all the listeners. This is everybody's cousin Vinny calling in from New Jersey. So in regard to season 8, episode 3, trying to fit in, back in 2012 when I came out to Bangkok for the first time, every morning outside of our hotel, which was the Green Hotel, which to my knowledge is still shuttered now. It's all overgrown, but it was a few blocks behind Rajadamnern Muay Thai Stadium. We would get Pat Kapow every morning, and I remember I thought the why was almost a thank you. So one morning I kept whying the lady who was serving our food to us, and at one point she grabbed my hands and put them down on the table. And so essentially told me to stop doing it because I kept doing it over and over to her every time she would bring me a condiment or my dish. And my friend was laughing, and he said, I was waiting for that to happen. You don't have to do that all the time like that. Thanks so much. Take care, guys.
Vinny, totally agree. Glad you concur. It's just it's the why is hard to get right, and the odd thing is most foreigners end up just whying too much.
Right. Well, and what we said on last week's show was it's better to under why than over why. And there's been some discussions on Discord about that with our listeners. And I think everyone kind of agrees, like, yes, way better to under why than over why.
Yeah, it's just because Thai people don't expect us to. And so, and for them, if you, for example, if you why a younger person, for them, it's very weird and confusing. Like that's much weirder than having a foreigner who doesn't why someone that they should why.
Sometimes I why my wife to say thank you or something just as a joke, and she hates it. It makes her really uncomfortable.
It crosses circuits. It's not a Thai thing.
Crosses circuits. I like that. Yeah. No, thanks, Vinny. And I would love to see that woman, that polite woman. You just grab your hands. You don't have to do this anymore.
True.
Stop it.
True. It is true.
That's funny. Good job.
Alrighty. A final thanks to our patrons who support the show. Patrons get a ton of cool perks and the warm, fuzzy feeling knowing that they're helping in our never-ending quest for cool content. Find out more by clicking support on our website. And connect with us online. We're Bangkok Podcast on social media, bangkokpodcast.com on the web, or simply bangkokpodcast@gmail.com. We love hearing from our listeners and always reply to our messages.
Totes my goats. Each episode is on YouTube as well. Send us a voicemail through our website. We'll feature that on the show, just like we did with Vinny. Hit me up on Blue Sky. I'm BKK Greg. Thank you for listening, everyone. Take it easy out there. Take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you next week.
For sure. You're going to be like lying on your deathbed and someone's going to read the news to you and it's going to be the Thai government adopts the term Bangkoker for a person living in Bangkok. And you're going to be like, Ed was right all along.
All along. Right. I can go now. Expires.
I can let go. All right. We want to give a big thanks to all of our patrons who support the show.
So funny. He did it, that son of a bitch. Beep.
So funny.
It's funny.
I think I'm like really tired. So it's like
it's extra funny for no reason.
All right. All right. We want to give a big thanks to. Oh shit! Sorry.